Hey, I'm Jeremy with PushLeads, helping restoration companies get more leads without struggle and frustration. And in this video, we're talking about restoration job management software. This is your owner's buying guide to the software options you have. Essentially, we have 4 platforms here and one clear framework. So I'm going to try to keep this about 15 minutes. But if you don't have time, on this next screen, you can find out the bottom line here. So essentially, here's your answer in the first 40 seconds. There are 4 different platforms that actually matter when we're talking about restoration job management. We have Dash, which is heavy TPA and carrier work, and this is at the enterprise category level, with the deepest insurance integrations on the market. You have Albiware, which is a growing mid-market shop. It's the most customizable, has the best mobile app, and it's the only one that doesn't require an annual contract. Next up we have is PSA, which has multiple branches, accounting, job management, CRM, and analytics in one system. And every branch reports off the same data. And then Xcelerate, which is your processes already work and you want the lowest price per seat. It has a capable mobile experience and straightforward platform. So that's the answer. The rest of this guide shows you how to be certain to find out which one is the best one for your company. So let's dig in. So here's 4 questions that help you decide which platform is the best. Everyone wants the best platform, but there really isn't one that's the best. A comparison that names a single best platform is telling you something false. What there is a fit, and these 4 questions will help you find it. So your 4 qualifying questions to think about is TPA volume, your process, your locations, and your seat count. So for TPA volume, what percentage of your work comes through TPAs and vendor relation and preferred vendor programs? If it's a significant amount, then that answer alone points you directly to Dash, and you can pretty much stop your search there. What about your process? Is it proven or building? Does your team run a system that's refined over the years, or are you still building one? So if you have it, you want software that bends to you. If you don't, you want software that hands you a structure. And then you have locations, and do they need to report identically? One location with 3 different crews is a completely different software problem than 4 branches rolling up into one P&L. And what about your seat count? How many seats do you need today versus 12 months from now? This is a question that most owners get wrong. It's just arithmetic, and I'll show you exactly how the math flips. So at 5 seats, PSA, which is 325, and Albiware Basic, which is 300, are nearly identical. But by the time you get to 10 seats, Albiware is $600 versus PSA's $351. At 20 seats, the gap is $1,200 versus $554. Around 6 or 7 seats, the model flips completely and keeps flipping the harder you grow. And of course, you have the one contract detail that changes the math. Albiware requires no annual contract. It's month to month from day one. So if you never run one of these platforms before, you have the option to walk away after 90 days. And that's worth real money, especially when implementation takes time and things don't always go as planned. Now with Dash, PSA, and Xcelerate, it's an annual commitment, and that's pretty standard for enterprise software. It's not a deal breaker, but you are locked in for 12 months. So if you factor that into your evaluation timeline, make sure you've done a live demo on real job before signing. So if you are evaluating software for the first time, Albiware's no contract model is a genuine risk reduction, not just a marketing bullet. So consider that as an option. Manual data entry is the tax that every restoration company has to pay, and almost nobody measures, but it does compound over jobs, over crew, with every handoff. How does Albiware eliminate the handoff tax? You have built-in VoIP transcription. It's a full VoIP phone system built directly into the platform. Every call is recorded, transcribed, and attached to the right job file. Nobody logs the call notes. The office stops chasing text for verbal updates. It allows the mobile video upload so the text can upload unlimited photos at once, straight to the job file right from the field. Nothing sits in the camera roll waiting for transfer. So by the time the tech arrives back, the file is already current, and it has bulletproof claim documentation. So when an adjuster questions the scope 6 weeks later, the conversion is right there in the file, transcribed and time-stamped. This second order benefit is arguably better than the time savings alone. So Albiware was actually built by restoration contractors, not developers who studied the industry from the outside in. And it moved from the 7th to the 4th in industry rankings between 23 and 24, and the market has noticed. Now, we also have this revenue is not profitability situation where a lot of restoration companies generally don't know which jobs are making money. Albiware's Pro tier, which is $100 per user versus $60, is built specifically to close that gap. It includes custom cost reporting, the labor hours versus estimate, equipment utilization, job cost across crews, locations, and job types, and that's built all around your cost structure, not a generic template. It has the scope, creep, visibility. Because every client conversion is attached to the job file, you can finally see where change orders, the while you're here request, and communication breakdowns can turn profitable jobs into break-even ones. And then your core insight is tighter documentation, tighter financial control. The call transcription option eliminates the manual entry while feeding your profitability reporting. So if you've grown to the point where the revenue doesn't tell you what you need to know, that $40 an extra Pro seat upgrade is the whole reason to pick this platform. Okay, so let's dig into Dash, the enterprise standard for carrier work. So Dash is owned by CoreLogic and has run this category since the mid-O's. If you do meaningful TPA work, this is your platform. The rest of this guide is just supplemental reading. So what do you get with Dash and what should you know? The strengths are native integration, Pro Assist, Mica, DryTac, Luxor CRM, Xactimate, and Exact Analysis. You have SSU Type 2 certified, which handles sensitive claim data at scale. You have the offline mode for text and poor reception areas. You have AI image analytics that auto tags the photos by room and contents, and then CoreLogic property data that pre-populates property details before you even roll a truck. The honest downsides here are the infrastructure is nearly 20 years old. Users are reporting occasional slowness and crashes. It's mature, not modern. Its largest customer base is actual insurance carriers, not restoration contractors themselves. And that is a structural conflict of interest. So walk into this with your eyes wide open. It doesn't mean you shouldn't use Dash. For carrier integrated work, nothing else comes close. It just means you need to understand whose interest the product roadmap ultimately serves. Then you have PSA, which is the one system across every branch option. And this is from Can-Am Systems, more than 1,500 contractors in North America. Its entire argument is that everything from accounting to job management, CRM, analytics lives all in one place. That's not a feature list. That's the answer to a specific pain. And PSA is built for multi-branch operators. It's got unified reporting across locations, so if you run 4 branches on disconnected tools, your leadership view is someone stitching together 3 spreadsheet reports every month, and the numbers are not quite reconciling. So PSA eliminates that. Every branch manager pulls from the same source. You see which location is performing which without an analyst. It has custom KPI reporting, reports built around your metrics, not preset templates. Integrations include Matterport for 3D documentation, Xactware for estimating, and QuickBooks for accounting. The integration library has expanded significantly over the last couple updates, and you have the seat math advantage. It's $325 flat for 5 users, and then just $525 per seat after that. Roughly past 7 people, PSA is the cheapest option on the board here, and the gap widens with every hire. So if you're planning headcount growth this year, this curve does matter. And then you have Xcelerate. So let's talk about Xcelerate and the 2 questions to ask on every demo. Xcelerate at a glance is around $55 a month. It's the lowest entry cost of the 4. The mobile app does have a 4.2 star rating and it integrates directly with Matterport, QuickBooks, and Zapier. The trade-offs are you have limited customization compared to Albiware and PSA, and an annual contract is required. So it's your best fit when you have processes that match how the platform thinks. So your ask number 1 is subcontractor costs. All 4 platforms handle sub-scheduling and documentation. The real question is whether the sub-costs land in your job costing automatically, or does it happen after someone types them in later? Ask that for the workflow on your real job during the demo, not the slide. Your ask number 2 is job costing accuracy. Every platform will tell you what the job billed. What you need to know is whether labor, equipment, and subcosts hit the file without human intervention. You should always demand a live demonstration on a real job before you sign any contract. And so here are the 4 platforms with honest answers. Dash is the best fit for heavy TPA carrier work. The pricing is enterprise. The contract is annual. Its key strength is the deepest carrier integrations, SoC 2 Type 2, and you have to watch out for a 20-year-old infrastructure carrier owned. Albiware is growing mid-market, $60 a user, $100 for the pro option. It is month to month. You have VoIP transcription, and it's the most customizable. It does get expensive at the scale versus PSA. PSAs for multi-branch operators, it's $325 for 5 users and $525 after that for each user each. It has an annual contract. It's the cheapest at scale. It has unified branch reporting. It's slower integration expansion, which is getting better. And Xcelerate, which is process mature, cost focused, $55 a user, an annual contract with the lowest entry price, and it has a great mobile app. It does have limited customization. So restoration software adoption is growing around 12% per year. The companies that pick the right platform now get an operational edge that compounds over time while everyone else waits. So you have to keep in mind that the best software won't ring your phone. This software is what makes the job you win more profitable. It doesn't create them. So if you want to know where your company actually shows up when a homeowner searches at 2 a.m. with water flowing through their ceiling, reach out to us. I'm Jeremy with PushLeads, and we'll run a free local SEO visibility audit, see where you are in Google, see where you are with AI searches. No pitch. So I'm Jeremy with PushLeads, helping restoration companies get more leads without struggle and frustration. Talk to you soon.